Hello and welcome back to another episode of Sweaty Electrician Nightmares. And today we are changing this consumer unit. Now you might recognise this cupboard because a couple of weeks ago I made a video about this amazing antique museum piece. The Crabtree C50 consumer unit is at the end of its life. I did the EICR on here and I showed you all the things that I'd found wrong, and this was one of them. I mean, you can see that it's the whole bottom's hacked out of it and it's got a wooden frame. There were no RCD protection to any of these circuits, and these breakers themselves are basically redundant now. But it's a beautiful old thing, so I was kind of admiring it in the previous video. I'll leave a link in the description so you can watch that video if you haven't seen it already. But today I'm doing the remedial works for it. I've just got back from holiday and I'm really not feeling it, to be honest. I did another EICR this morning, you've probably seen that video already, and today now I'm just trying to do the remedial work on this place, but it's really hot. It's 33 degrees. Fortunately in this cupboard it's a little bit cooler, but it's still just not the nicest day to be working anyway, to be honest. So I'm sweating like a pig and trying to get this consumer unit on. I have already started, as you can see. I've ripped out the old stuff and I've just been getting these cables into place. Basically these cables were originally down here at the old Crabtree Starbreaker consumer unit, which was on here for the extension. So what I've done is I've moved, basically they were drilled through the wall, through this hole. So I've moved them, I've pulled them back through the wall because they were running on a trunking on the other side of the wall down from the loft void or whatever it is, the ceiling void, running down the wall and a trunking behind the other side of this wall. So I've been able to pull them out of there, drill a new hole through and come straight into the back of the consumer unit, which I'm really pleased about. And as you can see, there's plenty of length on these, so that's good. Then these are the original cables for the old part of the house. We've just got 3 circuits here basically. You've got the cooker circuit, a ring circuit and then a lighting circuit. And there is a 6mm bonding conductor that goes somewhere, but I don't really know where it goes. I'm guessing it's supplementary bonding or something. The main bonding to the water and gas are being sorted out by me. I'll show you those in a minute. But presumably this goes off somewhere. I think I'll just reconnect it anyway, it's not going to do any harm. This is the cooker circuit, so I'm going to be fitting that to a 32 amp circuit breaker. And then we've got the ring circuit and the lighting circuit for the old part of the house. Here we've got a ring circuit for the extension, we've got lighting, smoke detectors, and an old cable which used to do an electric shower, which is no longer in use, and I can't actually find where the cable goes. So I'm going to leave that disconnected in the back of the consumer unit, but it's there if they ever need to reinstate it. Presumably it just goes above the ceiling or something now. So let me show you around, and then I'm going to get stuck into this consumer unit and just start terminating everything, dressing the cables, terminating them into the circuit breakers and whatever. So for those of you eagle-eyed people, you might have noticed that the cutout fuse is in place and the meter terminals are exposed. Well, that's because I've pulled the main cutout fuse and removed it. It's down there on the floor, can you see that? So this is just a dud now, basically just to seal the holes so that there's no live terminals exposed. So that's what that's all about, before anyone jumps down my throat. The seals were cut on this anyway, so I just taken that off. I'm going to reseal it afterwards, upgrade the main tails from here, take the knockout out under here and put in either one of those whisker glands, or I'll just use the Hager gland that comes with the board. This earth terminal needs labelling, but I've redone the connections, so the main earth for the TNS system is that one. Then this one is the main bond to the water, which I'll show you in a minute. I've redone that water bond. And then the gas bond was non-existent before. And one of the questions I asked in the previous video was, should this be bonded or not? because it looks like plastic, but a lot of you said it's probably steel just covered in plastic when it goes through the wall just to protect it from rusting. So I think that's probably right. So anyway, what I've done is, you can see here, this is the consumer side of the gas pipe. I've put a bond on there. I've also bonded this old pipe and this old pipe, just because they go into the concrete floor and I don't know if they are introducing earth potential to the building or not, so better to bond them just to be safe. And I've just continued the conductor through these, so the conductors are not cut or anything, so if they removed one it will still maintain continuity to the others. That's a little thing that you're supposed to do if you are piggybacking your bonding conductors. They should be continuous, so you can see that I've just looped the copper through like that. Now let me show you the water bond. So here is the new bonding clamp that I've fitted, and basically what I've done is, with a bit of wire wool, I've just taken the paint off the pipe there. A bit of wire wool, and it rubs up really nicely and makes a nice shiny bit of copper pipe. And then I've put a new clamp on that. That's the existing bonding conductor, which was absolutely fine, so I've just reused that and put it on this new clamp. Here's the trunking that I was talking about behind, so the consumer unit's on the other side of there. So that's the old hole that went through to the old consumer unit. Then this is the trunking, which is existing. So I've just drilled through from here and run all my cables through from the back of the trunking. I've just got to fill that in afterwards with a bit of sealant and fill in the old hole there as well. What else have I got to do? Up here, I've got to change that smoke alarm, and actually the lighting circuit in here is not earthed. So I've got to run that is earthed, but that is not. So I've got to run an earth wire between and put them on the same circuit, so that then we've got an earth for all the light fittings as well. And above here is a whole monstrosity. Literally every time I start filming, I get a phone call and it cuts out. Anyway, what was I saying? This light fitting needs changing because there's a whole nest of horrible connectors up above, and the light fitting itself is rubbish, so I'm just going to change that. That's it really, I think. Oh, a couple of broken sockets and bits and pieces around, so going to sort those out. Yeah. Anyway, you guys have seen it in the previous video. Like, yeah, this socket, for example, is just loose, you know, and there's quite a few things like that. So it's 4:30 in the afternoon, nearly 5 o'clock actually, and you can see where I am. I'm going to be here late, I think, because I want to get this board done. Even if I don't get the other bits and pieces done today, I want to get the board done and get it all livened up again before I leave. Tenants are moving in soon. Same old story, you know what it's like now. It's just time pressure as always. But that is the life of working for agents, and that's why I don't work for more agents. I only work for one agency at the moment, and the reason I work for them is because they pay me a good amount. I wouldn't work for them if they wanted me to do work for next to nothing. They pay me my normal going rate, and they give me a lot of work, so that's why I do what I do for them. And they like my standard of work, and they want me to, you know, get their properties up to scratch, which is great. So I can't complain because they're chucking me a lot of work. But the time pressure thing is a little bit annoying sometimes, that's all. The nice thing though is you get to work in a lot of empty properties, which I do like. Except on this one, when I came and just opened the door, the landlady was walking around inside, so that took me by surprise a little bit. But hey ho, I'm going to get on this and chuck you on the time lapse, and you can see what it's like with me changing the board. Right, people, so we have liftoff. We are getting there now. So everything's terminated in to the consumer unit. Just got to seal up that hole in the back there, and then I can just do some testing, get everything livened up. New tails are in. I've just got to clip those up as well. I've got to put the label on here for the earthing terminal, and then I can get out of here, I think. Can't wait. It's now 6:10, so I think I'll be out of here by 7 hopefully, and then I'll have to come back and finish off all the other stuff another day. Just a little note about how I've actually done this. You can see I've actually left a gap every 2 RCBOs. I've done that for a reason, just to allow for heat dissipation. I don't always do it, but it's good practice, I think, to do it if possible, and there were plenty of spare ways in this board. It's only 6 circuits, so 6 spare ways. So just space that out a little bit, and then that allows the heat from the RCBOs to dissipate naturally in the gaps. So let me know what you think about that. Also here, I'm not really happy with this, but there wasn't much choice. There wasn't much length on this 10mm shower cooker cable. So what I've had to do is just sort of loop it over like that in a little swirl. I didn't have enough to, normally what I like to do is go down behind the buzz bar and then loop up and over like I've done with these, but I wasn't able to do that. And then this one was similar, it's quite short, so I've just done the same thing with that basically. But it's just a shame, it sort of annoys me a bit because it doesn't match the other ones. For the earth on that, it's a 4mm earth, so I've just ferruled it as well. You can see there, because that was kind of stranded 4mm earth, and it just makes it a bit of a better connection with the ferrule on it. Stops the strands from kind of getting cut through and damaged. And on the RCBOs, I use ferrules on the smaller tails, but not on the larger ones, because they're already kind of soldered on the ends, those larger ones. Alright, so I'm just about done for today. It's 7:15 in the evening. Labelled up. I've just got to do the printed label under there with the Brother label maker, but I'm going to do that another day because I'm ready to drop dead now. But I've secured the tails up with these cleats. I've put the earth safety thing there. I couldn't find my stickers that I've got, so I've just taken a bonding clamp label off and just put it on there. Everything's livened up, tested and working. So yeah, just got the little other bits of remedial work to do and then we're done, but that's for another day.